Hi, and welcome back to the channel. This week, we're diving into a hot debate. Donald Trump says the Smithsonian museums are too woke and wants to change how American history is presented. So, should we erase the darker parts of our past and only highlight the good? Or do we need the full story, even when it's uncomfortable? Let's get into it. Donald Trump has a new target in the so-called war on woke, the Smithsonian museums. He says they're focusing too much on America's mistakes like slavery and racism, and not enough on its victories. He wants to overhaul their exhibits to make them more patriotic. But here's the real question. Is it okay to erase history? Or should museums tell the full story, even the painful parts? In August 2025, Trump ordered a sweeping review of 8 Smithsonian museums. The White House told museum leaders to remove what it calls divisive or partisan narratives, and instead highlight American greatness. This is tied to Trump's executive order earlier this year, restoring truth and sanity to American history, which directs federal sites to strip out what he sees as ideological bias and emphasize unity and exceptionalism. Basically, Trump wants less focus on America's failures and more on its proudest achievements. To him, talking about slavery, racism, or inequality is un-American. But to critics, that's not patriotism, that's censorship. The Smithsonian has always been about telling a full story, the good, the bad, and the complicated. Yes, America has incredible triumphs, from landing on the moon to groundbreaking inventions to civil rights victories. But those victories mean more when we also remember the struggles, the failures, and the injustices people had to overcome to get there. If you erase slavery from history, how do you explain the Civil War? If you erase racism, how do you explain the civil rights movement? If you erase women's inequality, how do you explain the fight for the right to vote? You can't celebrate progress if you don't show what came before. Historians and museum experts warn that this kind of overhaul could create a chilling effect, where curators self-censor to avoid political backlash. One former Smithsonian staffer even said it feels a bit like censorship. This isn't just about what goes on a museum wall, and it's about who controls the story of America. Do we want our history shaped by facts and scholarship, or by political agendas? Because once you start sanitizing history to only show the good, you're no longer teaching truth. You're creating propaganda. And let's be real, covering up the ugly parts doesn't make them disappear. It just makes future generations less equipped to understand where we came from, and less prepared to fix the problems we still face today. So here's the bottom line. America's story is both inspiring and messy. We've had triumphs worth celebrating and failures we should never forget. Erasing the bad doesn't make America stronger. Facing it head-on does. Because only when we acknowledge our mistakes can we actually learn from them. So what do you think? Should museums focus only on America's proudest moments? Or is it dangerous to erase the darker chapters of our history? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you next week with a new video.